arc safety in the welding workshops. Welding operation is a method of production to connect metal or thermoplastic materials with each other by means of heat. Because of its being stronger and easier compared to the mechanical methods used to combine the metals, welding technology is very commonly used in metal industry. By the widespread usage of welding, number of the people working in this field also increase rapidly, and an increase is observed in number of work accidents happened too. The following welding methods are commonly used at metal industry. Electric arc weldings, covered electric arc weldings, gas metal electric arc weldings, gas metal welding by consumable electrode, MIG-MAG, metal inert gas metal welding, helium, MAG. Metal active gas metal welding, carbon dioxide, tungsten inert gas metal welding, TIG, submerged arc welding, spotter tack welding, electron beam welding, laser welding, oxygen gas weldings, oxyacetylene gas welding, oxyhydrogen gas welding, oxy-LPG gas welding, oxy-natural gas welding. Avoiding the dangers at welding operations. Avoiding the electric danger. While arc welding, the accident of electric shock occurs while the machine is in neutral. The voltage is 20 to 30 volt during welding, and it increases up to 65 to 100 volt while the machine is in neutral. In order to prevent the electric shock, the metal part of the nippers and electrode shouldn't be held with bare hands, especially with the left hand. And any bridge mustn't be constituted between the nippers and work cable by the human body. Electric cables and welding nippers should be insulated, and its strength must always be checked. Welding machines should be grounded. Maintenance and repair service mustn't be performed in the machine without turning off the line voltage. Furthermore, earth leakage relay should exist in the electric panel. Welding nippers shouldn't be held under the armpit, and it must be left on the ground of dry wood when the work is broken off. It should be cared for the welding place not to be wet. Avoiding the danger of electromagnetic field. Magnetic field constitutes around the cables carrying electric current and around the surfaces. The strongest magnetic field occurs during the resistance welding. Working should be carried out far from the magnetic field as much as possible. It is not suitable for the people having electromagnetic pacemaker. These people shouldn't stand in the places where resistance welding is performed. Avoiding the beam danger. 60% of the rays going out during welding are the infrared rays, the 30% are the bright-looking rays, and 10% are ultraviolet rays. The infrared rays cause the feeling of sand sting in the eyes, damage in the lenticula and cornea, and burns on the skin. Bright rays cause light stress, tiredness, and nausea. However, ultraviolet rays cause the serious burns leading to seeing haze at the eyes, cataract, and damage in cornea and iris, and water collection under the skin. In order to prevent all these dangers, proper PPE, personal protective equipment, should be used. Welding mask, leather gloves, leather apron, glasses, and overalls made of cotton cloth should be worn. The working place should be surrounded by folding screen not to damage the people around. Glasses or masks should be chosen in accordance with the welding type and current strength. Mineral oxide ceramics should be used conforming to standards. Protecting from the risk of fire and explosion. Hot sparks splashes around from the arc constituting during the operation of welding. The sparks spreading round causes the burnable and explosive powder, gas and liquid matters existing in the environment to explode. In addition, the flame used at the oxy-gas welding causes the burnable matters existing round to blaze. Therefore, the operation of welding should be performed at a distance at least 10 meters far away from the burnable and explosive matters. An immediate accessible extinguisher should exist while welding. Protecting from hazard of welding gas and fume. While welding, some harmful substances existing in the hull transforms to gas and fume during electron fusion. Inhaling this gas and fume can damage the welding person and the people in the environment. In case of getting exposed to the fume and gases more, the disorders like nauseation, headache, dizziness, and metal fume fever, damages of respiratory system occur. The best method to prevent from the gas and fume is to eliminate the hazard at the source, that is to say, it is to expel the gas and fume before spreading round by the local aspiration. If it is not possible, environment protection must be performed, and the environment should be ventilated enough by the aspirators. In cases that both protection measures can't be taken, available PPEs like masks should be used. Protection from the hazard touching the hot surfaces. Heat reaches at 35000 C, 40000 C at the electric arc welding. Since the metal materials transmit the heat well, this heat spreads to the welding part and to the metals touching it after a while. Metal materials also reach at the high temperatures at the operations of cutting and welding by oxy-gas welding. Touching the metals reached to the high temperatures by the naked skin will cause the serious burns. Therefore, hot surfaces mustn't be directly touched. Leather gloves, leather apron and leather boots should be worn while working. Protection from the hazards caused by the gases used at welding operations. Burnable acetylene, LPG, and burning gases, oxygen, are used together at the welding operations. These gases are kept at high temperature in the cylindrical tubes. By any reason, when the valve is broken on the tube, the compressed gas in it discharges very fast, and it makes the effect of rocket. Therefore, the tubes of the welding gases should be carried by available transportation vehicles carefully, and they must be fixed to the wall not to overturn. Because of the tubes getting extremely heated, tube explosions occur as the result of the gas expanded inside. Collection of the burnable gases in a covered environment also causes fire and explosions. Consequently, the tubes full of burnable and burning gases should be kept at desperate places and far from the heat source, the direct sunlight, and the places where fire danger can occur. Fire can also happen by the touch of oxygen and oil. Therefore, valves of tubes shouldn't get touched with the oily hands or oily oakum. While the operations of cutting and heating performed by the welding torch, the events of flare-back occur by not adjusting the gas pressure well or while cutting a material having oil on the surface. Against the fire and explosion, working should be carried out at least 10 meters far from the burnable and explosive matters. Furthermore, heat work procedures must be practiced, and flare-back valves should be definitely used separately behind the welding torch for the burnable and burning gases. Any tubes undefined and the periodic control of which isn't done shouldn't be used. Protection from the hazards caused by the grinding and cutting operations. Grinding motors, spiral grinding, should be used while cutting and grinding the metal parts or smoothing the welded surfaces. During the grinding and cutting operations, the pieces broken from the corroded surfaces cause the eye injury at high level. The hot pieces rushed out also cause fires. While cutting and grinding, hewn stone explosion occurs when it is squeezed, and it causes very serious injuries and even death. Grinding operation shouldn't be done by ashlar. Ashlar guard must absolutely be mounted. Motorcycle and the hewn stone should be compatible. Protective glasses must be used against the pieces rushed out. Cables and connecting cables, plugs and plug sockets should be strong. Residual current device ought to be used in the electric circuit in the main and secondary panels. Protection from the hazards caused by penning and impact working. Accidents occur when the handles the equipments used during penning and impact working are broken or the broken parts rush out. The handles of the sledgehammer and hammer used should be strong and the pieces, superposition, leading to leave on the metal surface ought to be smoothed by grinding. Protection from the ergonomic forces. Ergonomic forces while lifting the parts are caused by the working position are discussed. Welder can have to work at a body-forced position belonging to the place of welding. So, it causes the healthy problems like waist and cervical disc hernia. In accordance with the place of welding and position, the designs must be carried out to make the posture steady. And it shouldn't be worked at the forced position for a long time. Exercises that strengthen the waist muscles should be practiced. Trainings ought to be given on the true position and using the body accurately. Protection from the noise. During the welding, level of noise exceeds frequently 80 decibels and it exceeds 85 decibels while grinding and pinning. Therefore, the noise level of the environment and individual affecting date should be measured, so ear protector should be used accordingly. Protection from the hazards caused by working in closed environment. The welding performed in the closed environments, apneas occur because of the welding gases. Before entering the closed area to weld, the level of the possible pollutant gases and oxygen existing in the closed area should be measured. The level of oxygen must be between 19.5% 23.5%. In the closed areas, at the welding works with oxyacetylene or oxygen LPG, the tubes should definitely be out of the closed area. Necessary precaution must be taken against the gas leaks. And mass measurement should often be performed. At the welding operations carried out in the closed area, the polluted gases constituted inside ought to be expelled, and clean air must be given inside. Protection from the hazards caused by the working high. The welders work high while producing silo, tank, boiler, etc., which are used at the industrial plants and during the construction of the steel buildings. At the workings carried out high, accidents of falling from high occur because of mostly not establishing the systems avoiding falling from high or not using the equipments of working high. Everybody who works high should be given training to work high. In order to be able to avoid these accidents, it requires to constitute scaffold. Working platforms or anchoring points are lifelines to which the person can tie the safety belt to stop falling down from the height according to the designs of the production for readout.